Life of a Creator, episode 3. So I'm going to take you guys behind the scenes with me. So you might see a bit of editing, you might discuss a lot. I'll be going out networking today, also going on a shoot. I'll try and get you some footage of the actual shoot, but it might be under lock and key a bit because it does involve a professional boxer and an announcement around him. First up though, I've listened to a really good audiobook recently. It's called What Gives You the Right to Freelance? And if you're in the creative industry, you definitely need to check it out. Some other audiobooks I reckon could highly benefit you if you're in the creative industry. So we've got What Gives You the Right to Freelance. I'd also say Discipline is Destiny, The War of Art, not to be confused with The Art of War. Some more business side ones, we've got Alex Hormozi's books, 100 Million Leads and 100 Million Offer. There's going to be a third one coming out soon, looking forward to that. And lastly, I'd probably say Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. So those are some really good audiobooks for anyone in the creative industry. Right, let's get it. And if you see the dead plant in the back, don't mind that. There's been a heat wave in the UK. It's gone above 20 degrees, so it's killed itself. The first two things I've got to do today are make a couple of amends. One is for a music video. They really liked the shot, so they want to use it as the cover art. And there's a bit of his name on his hat, and we're trying to emphasize that. And then I'm moving on to a dragon boat racing edit. There's only one amend, which is they forgot to send me their logo. So it's always good when you do an edit and there's no amends to be made. And yeah, I've got my assistant producer there in his bouncer. I've got my executive producer on a laptop there doing her own work. So for the cover art for the music video, I've cut out the name from the hat. I'm going to use a bit of a colour overlay and a drop shadow to see how we can make this pop in the picture. What I've just done as well is I've added a bit of a stroke to it to make it more prominent. So this is it without anything. It's the drop shadow, colour overlay, then the stroke. So while that's uploading, what I'm going to go do is charge some batteries because I've got a shoot coming up after a bit of networking. So I need to charge some batteries for my camera. I'm going to do the Titan base and then the standard Sony batteries because it's going to be a 2-camera setup, sort of interview situation. Hopefully going to do a boxing hype video while I'm there as well. And then I've got the little, well I say little, the massive batteries to go into my external monitor. So yeah, let's get on that. So in my camera bag I've got a bunch of batteries, I've got my cameras, cleaning kit, ND filters, even though I'm not going to need them to be honest because we're indoors, shotgun mic, batteries for the action, SD cards, top handle, side handle, monitor, HDMI, lenses. I'm going to chuck this body mount in there. And then along with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 tripods. So one of them is just going to be a bit of a travel tripod. It's cheap and cheerful, it does the job. Like I said, I've got the lighting I'm taking with me. I'm taking the Sony lav mics because they're just elite. I know I'm using the DJIs at the minute, but it's more convenient for this kind of content. On any sort of professional shoot, I always use the Sonys. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the kit bag, other than a few light stands and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have noticed this as well, but I just can't ignore it at the minute. It's like people trying to promote themselves, you know, videographers, filmmakers, video creators, whatever, trying to promote themselves, and within that promotion they're like disrespecting phone videos in some way. Oh, you can't do this on a phone. This content is better because we record it on a camera or whatever instead of your phone. And all they do is they turn up with a camera on a gimbal, no lighting, they neglect audio, and they think they're getting these amazing shots or whatever, and the lighting's like this. It's like my vlog. And I just don't get why people need or feel the need to disrespect something to try and put themselves higher in the industry. I guess ego feeds on comparison, and this is what a lot of people are trying to do. They're trying to feed their ego. At the end of the day, we should be encouraging it and not discouraging it, because if I was to start filmmaking again, I would love to be in the era where I can just pick up a mobile phone and start. It would be so much better to start now with my phone instead of that camera that I used to have to put mini DV tapes into, you know, the little tapes, and when you run out of space, that's it. You have to get a new tape or record over what you've got. What I'll do is I'll chuck in a little stop motion animation now. So I used to make little stop motion movies with my toys when I was a kid, probably like 4 or 5 years old onwards, and that's how I started out. I'd much rather have a good filmmaker using a phone than a videographer with their Sony A7 IV and a gimbal. Yeah, sorry, massive rant. Anyway, let's get onto the networking, let's pack the car and let's go shoot some shit. So I'm just out here collecting a little something from Vinted. It's time to open this up. It's another vintage lens. Some of you would have seen, I've got the 50mm Meyer Optic Gorlitz 2.8, which is a really nice lens. And then what would probably be considered the holy grail of vintage lenses, that is a Helios 44, made by KMZ. This is the original line from 1960. All silver, hand-built Soviet Russian lens. You might be able to see here, it says made in USSR. It might be a bit hard to see because I'm using the action, but this thing is amazing. Look at that, 13 blades of aperture. Let's chuck this onto the M42 inverter. So what this essentially does, the adapter, it lets you adapt it to Sony E-mount. The Helios has an M39 mount, so I have to use a step-up ring to go from M39 to M42, then onto the Sony E-mount, and it works great. The only thing you lose is infinity focus. The blades are working as they should. It's a lovely lens, another bargain. Oh yeah, I didn't say, £12 on Vinted this was. So I paid £12 for this lens, I paid £15 for my Meyer Optics, and let's not talk about how much I paid for the Helios. So that's it for episode 3. Probably should have done this outro when we was actually out and about, but hey, we'll work with it. So we got some projects over the line. We did some networking, we did some shooting. I also got to discuss with this professional boxer and his coach about being their official video creator, photos as well. So wait back to hear on that. That would be wicked if I become their one and only go-to guy, especially because he's a big name in boxing. So this could provide some good opportunities, and I'll be able to provide some great content for you guys, some behind the scenes on how to shoot, and I'll definitely make sure to be able to do that. Like I said at the start, this might be under lock and key, and it is. We also got to see me collecting another vintage lens. So before I sign off, I've been getting really into Alex Hormozi's stuff on business recently. I first got one of his books probably like 2 years ago. One of his tips was always have your brand on your t-shirt everywhere you go. I didn't do it for the networking because it's a bit more smart casual, but from now on I'm always in my Lionheart t-shirt. And then at the networking, it was something, again, prompted by Alex Hormozi and his tips. You know, your network is everything. They can also recommend you to other people. This was only my 3rd ever networking event in person. So I've been to sort of 3 different companies of networking. I'm sort of just trying to figure out which one would be best for me. This one was really cool. It was a bit more formal, a bit unusual at times. You had to stand up and do a 60-second elevator pitch, which I'll do to sign off. Maybe you guys can nick it for yourselves, just reword it a bit. These networkings bring a lot of different opportunities as well. One of which that I'm already trying to capitalise on, someone who's very interested in me creating them film style videos for luxury properties that are being sold, and that sounds like a great industry to get involved with. I've wanted to get into the property industry before, but it's always been on the lower end, and meeting someone in the luxury market definitely sounds promising. So I hope you've enjoyed episode 3. Episode 4, let's try and make it a bit more shooting based again, like episode 1, that was just going out and showing you a little bit of fun. But episode 4, let's try and get an actual shoot on camera for you guys. As always, I'd really appreciate a like or you guys subscribing. So let me finish it with my 60-second elevator pitch for you guys. My name's Gianni, a filmmaker and director, and I run Lionheart Films. There's 2 sides to my business. The creative side, which involves short films, documentaries, music videos, things of that nature, but also the corporate side, where I provide businesses with high quality videos and photos. These can be used for promotional use, internal communication, social media, or anything of that nature. I've worked with high-end businesses down to local businesses, and there's no shoot that is too big or small, as I have a great connection to some of the most skilled creatives in the industry. So whether you need a 1 or 2 man shoot to promote your business, or you need a 10, 20, 30, 40 man crew to create a TV spec advert, then I am the man for you. Thank you.